So when I was putting on my mascara today, the other side came through and they said, Christine, you know how you keep asking Bernie Sanders to leave the Democratic Party and lead the People's Party because he's like compromising his power, with regards to universal energies rising up and supporting him? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, that's all true, but we need you to tell him a different reason why he needs to lead the People's Party. And I said, okay. And they showed me an image of Bernie Sanders letting go of the divine's hand. The divine did not let go of Bernie Sanders' hand. Bernie Sanders let go of the divine's hand by staying a member of the Democratic Party. Because Bernie Sanders is a democratic socialist and he calls himself an independent. So he's technically not a member of the Democratic Party. And he's also anti-establishment. And you can't really be a member of the Democratic Party and be anti-establishment at the same time. So Bernie Sanders has decided to stay over here. And what the other side wanted me to let him know is that he's not protected over here. They said because he let go of the divine's hand, he is now vulnerable to the dark. And so they said, you need to tell him that he is vulnerable to the dark, staying with the Democratic Party. He is not vulnerable if he leads the People's Party. He will be holding the hand of the divine and he will be protected and safe. So they gave me that message for him. They said, make sure he knows that. They said, make sure, you tell Bernie Sanders that right now he's vulnerable, and if he leads the People's Party, he won't be. He will take the divine's hand again. And I said, okay, no problem. I'll make that in my next, I'll say that in my next video to him. That's not a problem. So I finished my sessions for the day, and I made a video called Movie Review Center Stage. And when I was done with that video, I decided to make another one. So I sat down to channel my other, video, and my gut was like bothering me. I was like, oh, what's going on with my gut? Why does it feel so weird? And I'm like, what's the problem? And so I thought maybe it was like my video. So I put that aside and started channeling other stuff. And I my gut starts bothering me again. And I'm like, why do I hear Bernie Sanders? I hear the name Bernie Sanders. And my gut is just going crazy. And then they show me an image of my computer. So I walk over to my computer and I bring it up, and there's an email from somebody that says, perhaps you saw this Bernie backlash. And I click on it, and it's an article from Yahoo, and I'll include a link to this article in the description box below this video so you guys can see the article that I'm referring to. And it's basically talking about how Bernie Sanders, his rebuttal to Donald Trump's State of the Union, was viewed as competing with Stacey Abrams' rebuttal. Now the problem is that both people are speaking for the light. So Stacey Abrams is speaking for the light. She was blaming Donald Trump for the government shutdown, accusing him of political games. Good for her. Good for her. So she's speaking for the light. But so is Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders' rebuttal is also speaking for the light, because Donald Trump represents the dark. So if you've got Stacey Abrams and Bernie Sanders both speaking for the light against the dark, they're not competing with each other. They're actually on the same side. So there's no reason to sit there and worry about who's getting the spotlight. If you're worried about that, that's just coming from a place of ego. Don't ever tell somebody speaking for the light to shut the hell up. Because in doing that, you're actually speaking for the dark because you're trying to shut up the light. This isn't a competition, so everyone needs to speak their truth. And one of the things that I noticed is that, Stacey Abrams was appointed by the Democratic Party to be the official person to give the rebuttal to the State of the Union. But the problem is Bernie Sanders isn't even supposed to be a member of the Democratic Party. Right here it says the Vermont senator has offered his own rebuttal to Trump's annual speech every year, separate from the official Democratic response, partly because he remains an independent. That right there tells you you're not really supposed to be a member of the Democratic Party anyway. And you're also not supposed to answer to anybody. So the only one you answer to, President Sanders, is the divine. So you're not really supposed to be over here in the Democratic Party, you know, being accused of competing with the Democratic Party's chosen person, you know, for the rebuttal. You're actually supposed to be over here leading the People's Party and doing whatever the hell you want. And saying whatever the hell you want. Because you were put there by the divine, and the divine is going to hold your hand and take care of you in all aspects. So to me, this is just yet another demonstration of how you're supposed to lead the People's Party and not answer to anybody. You know, another thing is, you know, Bernie Sanders is getting a backlash for taking the spotlight away from her when he even praised her. He encouraged people to watch her message for the country before his. He like endorsed her when she ran, but of course he gets like no credit for that. Yeah. So this isn't like a race thing. This isn't a gender thing, even though I know people like to point out our differences because it promotes separation. I don't deal with skin, let alone skin color. I work with the other side all day, so I deal with souls. So a soul is a soul is a soul, and we're all created equal, and we're all connected. So that to me doesn't have anything to do with this, because Bernie Sanders, you know, posts a response to absolutely everything Donald Trump says and does. So this has absolutely nothing to do with Stacey Abrams as an individual at all whatsoever. Bernie Sanders is just doing what he's supposed to be doing, and this is also his life purpose. It's Bernie Sanders' life purpose to be president. It's why he majored in political science. He's not somebody who just woke up one morning and decided to, you know, enter politics. This is actually his life purpose in his heart, and it's what he's supposed to be doing. Yeah. So, like I said, I'll post a link to this article so you guys can read it, but I'm just a little concerned because usually my videos for Bernie are like, just, you know, a lot mellower. It's like, okay, channel this message, make a video for Bernie, whatever, post. But this was like, you know, interrupting me while I'm getting ready and saying, yeah, no, we need you to post that video today. Like now. So the other side is coming through with this, you know, urgent message for Bernie, just letting him know that he is vulnerable in staying a member of the Democratic Party. And I think my biggest concern is that I take the other side very seriously, and I really need President Sanders to do the same. You know, I'm just this chick sitting here on YouTube talking, and I really need Bernie to take me seriously because this message is very serious. I don't want you to be vulnerable to the dark because I know what it means. I've been there, and if I don't follow their guidance, bad stuff happens. If I do follow their guidance, everything's great because it's all about being aligned with truth, and the Democratic Party just isn't your truth. So if the Democratic Party isn't your truth and you're not aligned with truth, it means you're not aligned with God, because God is the truth. So that's really all I'm asking you to do, Bernie, is dig deep within your soul, bust out a journal, ignore your head, ignore your heart, and follow your gut. Because your gut is going to tell you that what you're doing is totally wrong right now, and it's not where you belong at all whatsoever. It really isn't. You have to follow your gut. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the other side had to say. Bernie, continue speaking your truth. Don't let the dark try to keep you from it. Don't ever let the dark tell you not to speak your truth. You just keep doing what you're doing. You know, but it's not supposed to be as a member of the Democratic Party at all. And right here, this to me is just another demonstration of it. I mean, yeah. It is really interesting to see like some people's stances where they like try to come across as like protective when really they're just like speaking for the dark. I'm like, that's a really creative way to come across when you're speaking for the dark. Because yeah, telling somebody to just shut up when they're speaking for the light, that's the dark. That's what the dark does. No, we need to come together with this common goal. But yeah, Sanders opened his speech by praising Abrams for her very, very effective response to Trump's State of the Union. So he even complimented her, but whatever. Anyway, so President Sanders, that's your message of the day. Again, I'm a broken record. But the fact that the other side is stressing the fact that you're vulnerable right now is a big concern. And I just really hope you take me seriously. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.